Hey Jarvis, how do you feel? How is the hip? How close are you to getting to 100%? And at what point will you not be constrained at all in training camp?
I feel really good. I feel good. We've put together a great plan that is going to gradually kind of work me back in to the normal practice schedule, normal everything. So as of now, we have a good plan going forward, and I'm excited.
Excellent. Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if you answered that in the first part yet. Will you be practicing? We see you out there today. Will you be in the first padded practice also that we see on Monday? Are you ready for that kind of activity? And if so, how do you feel about ratcheting it up kind of that way?
Yeah, like I say, it's a gradual ramp up. I have been practicing. I have been out there. I have been doing individual and things like that. As we move more toward team periods, offense versus defense, those will be one of the periods that I kind of just work into a little bit slower. But that's also something that which is the next step for my transition and being to 100%.
Thank you.
We'll go to Tom Withers for the next question.
Jarvis, good to see you. Hey, we just talked to Baker. He's talked about being in a better place emotionally and physically. What have your observations been of him? And then what is it to have one of your team leaders, your quarterback, come in fit, ready to go with that kind of mindset? What does that mean for the whole team?
I mean, it means everything. I mean, he's the leader of our team, will continue to be the leader of our team. And, his attitude towards this season, is at a heightened level, and it's fun to see him out here. It's fun to see him doing the things that he loves with a smile on his face and making plays already. So it's good to have him in the building and, and working with him.
Thanks, Tom. Daryl Ryder.
Hey, Jarvis, aside from trying to recover from the surgery and get yourself back ready to play the way you play the game, just could you talk about how challenging this year has been for you and, those efforts to kind of get yourself rehabbed and back to where you need to be?
Yeah, it's been very difficult. It's been very difficult being that this was my first major surgery ever, and and then quarantine hits, and everybody's stuck in the house for a month, really month, 2 months, before I could actually get back to someone getting their hands on me as far as just doctors and the treatment that I needed. So it was very difficult. A lot more went into it being more than just a physical thing, also mental. So. But I'm here now. I'm at a stage where I'm very close. I'm so close to being where I know I can be, to be able to go out there and help this team.
We'll go to Nate Ulrich next. Nate, you're breaking up. We'll come back to you in a second. We'll go to Dan Lobby.
Hey, Jarvis. We haven't talked to you, I don't think, since you launched your foundation. And one of the things you said when you did launch it is you were kind of reevaluating your role. I've got it, reevaluating your role in the communities that made you and continue to shape you. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit, sort of that thought process and what you were reevaluating and why you made the decision to launch the foundation?
Yeah, well, I think reevaluating it to me looks more like being present, being in those neighborhoods, being in neighborhoods back home, being in neighborhoods in Cleveland, being in neighborhoods as well as in Miami, where I played at prior to being here in Cleveland. So, and not just feeling like by, giving school supplies away or, having food drives and things like that are enough. Obviously, that is something that, is a need in the areas that I've, played a part in, but I think as well of just being present, making sure that I'm there, making sure my face is being seen, making sure that I am more accessible to the public.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Scott Petrick.
Hey, Jarvis, how different does it feel in the building this year and even at those early practices, as we go through the pandemic? And then today will be the first time fans won't be allowed out there. How strange do you think that'll be?
Yeah, I mean, that's the new norm, right? So, I think um, we kind of not really paying attention to it. There's a lot of logistics going on that, from getting into the building, the things that you have to do for us, the protocols and things like that. So I think for us, the team has done an amazing job. And then for us, every guy has done an amazing job of just abiding by that. And then having the opportunity to come out here and step on the field and practice. It's something that we've been waiting a long time to do. We miss OTA, so we have an opportunity now to be able to come out here, and that's the fun part of it all.
And obviously you and Odell still put up impressive numbers last year with 1,000 yards each. But now that you guys are both healthy, right, coming out the surgeries, how different will you guys look, and what can we expect?
Man, I think just for us, again, it's an ongoing process. Staying healthy in this league is really hard to do for anybody. And I think for us, it's an ongoing process to stay healthy. And I think the more we can do that and have our attention and our focus on being healthy, the more plays that we can go out there and eventually make. It's just, it just will come with being healthy and getting opportunities.
Thanks.
Jake Trotter.
Yeah, hey Jarvis, how does Odell look out there coming off his surgery? And we just spoke with Baker, cut body fat this offseason, added some lean mass. How does he look out there to you?
No, both of those guys are great. Both of those guys are great. Again, it's an ongoing process, in this league of trying to stay healthy, trying to remain healthy. It's really tough to do, and both of those guys have been staying on top of the little things that I know that they've been working on off season, just from communicating back and forth. So they've still been working on those things inside the building. And that's going to allow them to be out there on the field playing as free and as healthy as possible. So I'm excited to see, obviously, what they're going to bring and what they're going to do, and do my part to help them.
Go to Didi Kinkabwala.
Hi, Jarvis.
Hey, Didi.
Coach Stefanski, I asked him in the spring, what's the magic? How are you dividing all these touches with you and OBJ and Kareem and Chubb and Hooper and Njoku? And he didn't really have an answer. So I'm asking you, what's the magic? How do you keep people happy? How do you make sure that nobody gets frustrated? Because the way Nick Chubb put it to us is you pick your poison. There's a lot of playmakers on this team.
Yeah. I think in reality, we just do what it takes to win. Whether the ball is in the air or the ball's on the ground. It's nothing like having options. And some teams don't have as many as we do. And we understand that, but we also understand that having as many options as we do have, if you look at last season, it only got us 8 games, 6 games, 7 games winning. So we got to find a way to put it together as players and play together, play for each other, no matter who's getting the ball, no matter who's not getting the ball, and create this unselfish system that we will need to win. I think, and that's something that I felt like last year. We just couldn't put the pieces together at the right times. So I'm excited to see what this year brings.
But even when you say that, how do you do that? How do you create an unselfish system? None of you are in this position if you didn't love having the ball. None of you are in this position if you don't think you can always take it to the house. So how do you get guys to buy into that?
I mean, that's the beauty of it. You got guys that, are chomping at the bit in a sense for an opportunity, for a chance, and I think we all have to realize as players that, one man can't win the game either. You know what I mean? It's going to come down to other guys making plays and trusting that those guys are going to make plays, and trusting that if the ball goes that way, then that's where it was supposed to go, and for us, regardless if that's an easy thing to handle or a hard thing to handle. If we want to win games and we want to be successful, we're going to have that type of attitude and mentality. It's just that simple. There's only one football.
Great. We'll go back to Mary Kay.
Hey, Jarvis, at this time last year, it was pretty evident that Odell was struggling, kind of emotionally, with just still grappling with the whole trade. And he had a very kind of long adjustment period, and then you guys had a difficult year. He really does seem to be in a much better place as far as being bought in and all in and, really into it now. I mean, do you find him to be that way, and how much different is it from last year?
Yeah, I mean, he's continuing to grow. He's continuing to grow each and every day, each and every week. And that's something that being here and being around the guys, over time that gives you. You begin to get comfortable. You begin to be where your feet are, and I think that he's really making this place home, and accepting that, and that's something that. I know me personally, I'm happy that he's here and hopefully can continue to be here for the rest of his career.
Thank you.
Scott Petrick.
Hey, Jarvis, we talked about Coach Stefanski through the Zoom meetings, but what's he been like now that you're around him in person?
He's been cool. He's been cool. I mean, everything that he's been on the Zoom meeting, he hasn't changed since guys have stepped into the building. So, again, one thing that you talk to any player around the league that they want from, the guy that's calling the shots is honesty and communication, trust, somebody that you can trust. And I think he's earned the trust of a lot of guys, this whole team, this whole building, this whole staff. And again, I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Is there any concern or nervousness that, he's a first-time head coach, you've been through that before at this level, that when the games start, there's going to be hiccups?
Yeah, I mean, even if you were been coaching head coach for 20 years, it's going to be hiccups. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something that comes with the game, and but that's the biggest thing. Like I said just now, the trust factor, the communication factor. I really respect him because he doesn't hold anything back. Anything that he has on his mind, I feel like needs to be said or addressed, he will, and even if he makes a mistake. So I think that that's something that every man, when he can look in the mirror and call out his flaws as well, is something that's important.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go to Tom Withers.
Jarvis, you touched on this a little bit, but at this point last year, you guys were kind of the trendy pick, and it didn't work out. Can you guys be the surprise team this year?
Surprise team? No, I don't know about that. I feel like this. Look, I feel like everybody, in the NFL understands that it's hard to win in the NFL, no matter how much talent you have. And again, I don't want to refer to last year, but now that we passed that, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's about us buying in. It's not about what the expectations of anybody outside of this building has for us. It's for, us as a Cleveland Brown team, as a club, to figure out, what's that going to be and who we're going to be, what our identity is going to be, how people will address us. That's something that we got to, take to heart, and go out there and work on that practice field each and every day to go out there and prove it on Sunday.
You guys are all competitive though, Jarvis. Was it hard to kind of flush last year and put it out of your mind, or was it easier to do?
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy. When you're losing, it's quarterback mentality from that point on. You know what I mean? You want to, last year's in the past.
Thanks.
All right, let's go back to Nate Ulrich, see if we got the technical glitch worked out. Nate, go ahead.
Thanks. Hey, Jarvis. Just wondering what you thought when Baker Mayfield came out publicly and said, hey, I'm absolutely going to kneel for the anthem. And we just talked to him and he said, right is right, wrong is wrong. This is a human rights issue. And, it stands out when the quarterback of the team takes that stand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was obviously, hopefully everybody in the world recognizes the problem, and understand that there is a problem that's going on. And then obviously from an athlete standpoint, as a professional athlete standpoint, we understand our platform, and being able to use that on the biggest stage is something that can continue to keep conversations going, continue to raise awareness, continue to call things out. So, much respect to him for that. Like I told him, I texted him, told him, it's respect for that.